All right, House of Payne fans, my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. What an episode. All lumped together. All right, guys, before moving forward, make sure you give this video a thumbs up to show you like it. Hit the bell icon and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post new content on the channel. Hit subscribe and follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. 10 out of 10. This was an amazing episode, and one of, if not my favorite, since the show came back. You know, season 9 plus what was it? Season 10, episode 3. This episode, and I understand that not every episode can be exactly like this one. Like, every episode can't always be about a heavy, serious topic. But I think this episode did a great thing with blending the seriousness of, breast cancer awareness, as well as sometimes realizing you can't do everything by yourself. In a lot of ways, this episode kind of piggybacked off of last week when CJ had to learn the value of accepting help. And I feel like the roles were reversed. It almost felt like both Malik and Ella both were in the same boat to an extent, where, Ella had the bad news about the tumor, whereas Malik learned about his academic probation. Oh, dang, it's 5:30. The birds are starting to chirp. That's what that noise is outside. But yeah, Malik was on academic probation. So what I'm going to do here is I'll briefly talk about the beginning of the episode, and then I'll go ahead and kind of split it in two, where the first part I'll talk about Malik, and then the second part I'll talk about Ella, because there was an interesting line of dialogue towards the end where we find out that a few weeks have passed from the moment Ella got the phone call to after she had the holy crap, what's it called? Oh, wow. Crap. Okay, I'll get to that later. But basically, so the first part of the episode, Floyd's chilling at Curtis and Ella's house. He had fixed the lawnmower. I believe he said Curtis went out to get a few things, most likely in regards to the barbecue tour that he's still planning to go on. So Ella comes in and wants Floyd to help her get some totes out of the car. And, Floyd pins it on Malik because Malik had just come over to see, Auntie Ella. So he brings in the totes, and Ella's in the kitchen making food, and it's in preparation for, CJ and his family because of the fact that he's not able to move around and whatnot. So she's doing all the cooking. And let me put it this way. As the episode goes on, it really shows how, without Janine and Jasmine, a lot of pressure is being put on Malik. But I'll get to that in a second. So from there, it turns out Ella's storyline for the episode is that she was able to get a grant for the community center to get 100 women free mammograms. And we pretty much established what the theme of the episode is: the importance of breast cancer awareness. So let's talk about Malik first, and then I'll get to Ella. So Malik's whole thing about the episode is he comes into CJ's house. CJ's on the couch, and he brings in food and groceries. So he's helping take care of CJ. He's helping, the twins on like a science project. He's taking care of Lisa. And apparently the twins are posting on social media because they're trying to be social media stars. Look, I know they're only like, 5? Well, depending on the length of time between the ending of season 8 and the beginning of season 9. Originally, it was supposed to be 5 years, and apparently it's been 2. Basically, they're toddlers, and they want to be viral online. So I'm not going to say that's wait, what? Because kids nowadays know way more about that stuff. Like, I don't even have a TikTok. Like, I'm about to turn 30. I don't have a TikTok. I don't have a Twitch. I don't have several things that are very popular right now. Maybe, like I said, after quote-unquote house stuff and everything, maybe if I get that one room dedicated solely to YouTube, I might get those apps and whatnot. But for the time being, no, I don't have it. But Malik is carrying so much weight on his shoulders. And, CJ's like, wait. because he runs down a list like, hey, I got the food and groceries. I'll check on the twins. What, Lisa? What did he say? Lisa passed out, while she was sitting over a plate of wings. So check on her, check on the twins. They should be sleeping. Make sure they ain't posting anything online or anything like that. Well, to be completely honest, as somebody who does social media for a living, I'm pretty sure kids should only have accounts that their parents have access to. Like, these different platforms do have an age limit, so them posting online and whatnot shouldn't be well, obviously they'll find a way, but for the most part, if they have accounts, then you would think CJ and Janine would have access to what they post and don't, because for example, on some of these Tyler Perry shows I review, there are young actors and they follow me, and some of them have reached out, or maybe their parents like, hey, my child is on this show, just wanted to say we appreciate you doing reviews and tagging them in the post. And sometimes with parent permission, they would chat with me back and forth a little bit, and it was really heartwarming. But at the same time, I like the fact that, especially for younger members on social media who are on television, they have parental guidance, which I think is an amazing thing. So I was a bit kind of like, wait, what? When we learned about how the kids want to be social media or whatever. So in any case, again, I'm not docking a point for that. I was kind of like, wait, what? But in any case, Malik realized he had forgotten stuff for the kids' science project because they should have started a week ago. But he's also like, oh yeah, I got to go back to school, or take a study for this cram for this exam. But even before that, CJ's like, wait, are you sure? Because I know you got to go back to school. It's like, no, don't worry, because CJ was actually about to get up to go to the store himself, but Malik's like, no, I got it. So basically, we go to later in the episode where Malik actually had helped the twins finish their volcano science project. And, he's kind of rushing into the kitchen to put it down because he just showed Lisa. It looked pretty legit. But sadly, he falls over and crushes it. And he doesn't full on have a mental breakdown. Trust me, I had that one 3 months ago. But, I completely get it. I completely understand when you are so focused on something and then something goes wrong and you almost want to fall apart, because the poor guy is handling so much by himself, And like I said before, it really sucks that, we don't have Janine and Jasmine around, because the fact that it just doesn't seem realistic. Like, I get it, Janine works and whatnot while CJ isn't working. But at the same time, it's like Malik is really handling everything himself. Because I was thinking about it before doing this review. I'm like, wait, should I give the episode like an 8.5 or a 9? Just because it seems like to put all of this pressure on Malik doesn't make a lot of sense, because like he tells Lisa, I'm taking care of my dad because he's barely able to move around. I'm helping the twins on assignments. They want to be social media stars and whatnot. Look, I ain't going front. That social media, well, then again, we live in a day and age where kids can make hundreds of thousands, if not millions, online if they go viral. So, technically speaking, that's not a bad investment of time. Lisa swollen ankles, massaging her and whatnot. I thought it was so sweet. She was like, I'm sorry for my swollen ankles. I forgot what she said, but basically I guess you could say like maybe like a foot soak or something. I was like, see, what? I wish we had more moments like this, just because Lisa is like, her man, she can tell that he's going through a lot, finds out about the academic probation. It can mess up his scholarship. And like she said, it's like, wait, why would you wait until things got this bad? I just thought I can handle everything because I want to be there for my family. And Lisa's like, well, maybe you should talk with somebody. It's like, you know what? That's a good idea. So I really love this scene between these two. And I did mention in the trailer breakdown that, yeah, you could tell Lisa's stomach got bigger because, well, time is just moving by so rapidly in this series or this season, because of the fact that, CJ broke down everything he's doing. And again, I worked at Liberty for 3 years. I know what it's like seeing students go from good standing, financially warning. Oh, yeah, there are two levels. There's financially and then there's academic. It's like, it's warning, probation, suspension, dismissal. So, yeah, it takes about a semester. You got to wait for your final grades to come in. So basically, Malik probably had a rough semester And as a result, his grades weren't that great, and that's what put him on probation. So, yeah, if he loses that scholarship, he's pretty much screwed when it comes to his academics. And low key, I thought that maybe Lisa was suggesting that Malik talk with, maybe like a therapist or something, because it seems like he's handling the weight of the world at such a young age. And I thought, oh, wow, this kind of like a not just a breast cancer awareness PSA episode, but also mental health awareness. Not that Malik is going crazy, but he's dealing with a lot of stress and pressure. So instead, we actually have Malik, I guess you could say, scheduling like a family meeting. He's talking with his dad and Lisa about the fact he's on probation and whatnot. And CJ is like, hey, I wish you would have told me about this. And again, this really was kind of like a mirror of last week. And pretty much, the fact that Malik felt like he had to take care of everybody, but he really wasn't taking care of himself. So CJ's like, hey, you know what? From now on, I'll have the kids, do their homework assignments downstairs instead of in their room. That way I can, look over what they're doing and possibly help out. We can have the groceries delivered. That way, you don't always have to go out to get them yourself. And trust me, as somebody who's been utilizing a lot of those kind of knock at the front door services since the pandemic started, that stuff comes in handy more than you think. And I mean, Lisa's like, I can help out too. See, that's the thing where it's like a love-hate thing with Lisa, where one episode you just love her a lot, and then the next is like, oh wow, here comes the selfish ghetto version from season 9. The one thing, that I'm wary of when you have an episode this good is consistency. Now, you could argue, well, Jeremy, she's a pregnant woman. And as CJ pointed out, consistency is only found in the irrationality of some of these women. I'm like, that makes sense. But at the same time, it's like, to have her and Malik bickering one episode over nothing, but then, these tender moments in this episode, you know what? Let me just, yeah. I don't want to go forward thinking that, because it's like, oh man, I'm speaking negativity, so then the next episode might have a scene like that. But no. This was a very solid episode to establish, like, Malik, it's understandable. You have a giving heart. He definitely has a heart like Auntie Ella, and this is the Malik that I love seeing compared to the snarky, disrespectful, mouthy version of Malik we got last season. Like, this Malik, he's grounded. Well, maybe not necessarily grounded, but his family grounds him, if you will, in terms of keeping him from doing too much instead of focusing on the person that matters most, which is himself. Yes, it's good to care about your family. It's good to help out. But at the same time, your role right now is supposed to be, doing well in school. And even though time is, well, then again, I don't think he's working now because, obviously he has enough on his plate as it is. But eventually him and Lisa, I guess, will save up to move out. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon because, number one, that'll be a new set piece. And I don't think we're getting one of those anytime soon. But more to the point, he's needed at home. So, like I said before, I'm not going to dock points for this, but it's tough to really stomach the whole lack of Janine and Jasmine around. But I understand that, the writers and whatnot, they're working with the characters they have, which I can't dock them for that. They're doing the best they can. But realistically, you would think Malik wouldn't be doing everything with his mom living under the roof. And I'm assuming his sister coming home from time to time if she lives on campus for her school. But like I said, good stuff for Malik. And even CJ is like, hey, you know what? Get those flashcards. I'm going to help you study. I'm like, ain't this some? Love that. All right, so let's talk about the other half of the episode, which is about, Ella. And remember, she has the 100 women she needs to call in order to get the free mammograms. I believe, Floyd was like, wait, you only got 15? Well, yeah, I want to call them all. And then he's like, add yourself to the list. And just like Malik, Ella is, well, let me put it this way. I think that Malik's self-sacrifice makes more sense in the context of, yeah, school, but I'm realistically living in a situation where everybody around me needs me. Whereas Ella just was pushing off her mammogram and getting her checkup and whatnot, which I believe is 6 months annual. But in any case, Turns out she was having some back issues, and Miranda's like, "Oh wait, I only make that kind of noise. I mean that sound when I'm feeling stiff in my back." And what did she suggest? Big hand Sam for a massage. And Ella's like, "No, Curtis ain't never going to go for some body named Big Hand Sam, let alone a man putting his hands on me." So pretty much, Floyd and Miranda actually convince her, hey, don't cancel your mammogram to get somebody else to, the slot or the position. You go ahead and take care of it for yourself. Floyd offers to, take up some responsibility to help her out as well and to get her to relax. Trust and believe. I can relate to Ella on this one. It's very difficult for me to relax. Like, what was it? Was it Sunday where I said, okay, I'm going to take the day off, or what? Yeah, I think it was Sunday or Monday. I'm like, let me take the day off. I got all this stuff listed on eBay. Yeah, I want to say it was Monday. Yeah, it was definitely Monday, because Sunday I did a crap ton of uploads. I'm like, I got stuff listed on eBay. That's 5 days. That'll just sit there. I got all these videos done on the channel, so Monday I could just take it slow, maybe pack up some more stuff and relax. But it felt so weird, because that's my problem with the house thing. I've done everything I can do. I filled out the forms. I've done this and that. Got to wait for the people to come out to survey the land, perk it and everything. There's literally nothing for me to do right now. Oh, I'm moving on the 19th. Okay, so, take it slow, pack a little here, a little there, then be done, maybe around this time next week. But it's difficult because it's not necessarily a lack of faith. Sometimes I do feel like it is, because if I really was in my spiritual grind like I used to be, so to speak, then yeah, I would definitely be like, yo, God's got it. I'm doing my part. But when you're used to being busy, and as somebody who's been self-employed for over 3.5 years, it's hard not to, be doing stuff. So that was Ella's lesson, to try and relax. So from there, we move forward. And we go. So I'm actually skipping over the notes, because remember, I talked about all the Malik stuff, so I need to make sure I'm not talking out of order. Okay, so yeah, the one thing about it is Floyd was definitely the comic relief of the episode, but it fit. It wasn't forced, and it was actually necessary, because this was a pretty heavy episode. So he pretty much told me, hey, I know this isn't a laughing matter, and kind of like the PSA moment, they bring up the rate of, black women who pass from breast cancer and whatnot, and the importance of getting mammograms. So from there, we go over to Floyd making phone calls, and even Miranda's making phone calls. So, they're all pitching in to help. I think there was a time where after Ella gets comfortable, she grabs the phone and makes a phone call, and they snap at her for it. So they take over the duties, and Ella actually gets a phone call. So I guess when the episode skips forward, it's at a point where this is after she had taken the mammogram herself, or gotten the mammogram, excuse my terminology. But it's a Dr. Jarrett, and they had found a tumor. So she has to get a biopsy. I hope I said that right. And turns out she actually skipped her exam last year. And, that's when Miranda and Floyd's like, look, you know what? Me and Curtis, okay, maybe Curtis spent his life helping out others, but then he eventually retired. Maybe you should do the same. And Miranda says the same thing, where it's like, I get it. It's God's gift. It's the gift God gave you to serve others. But what good is it if you're not here for your family? So basically, don't run yourself ragged trying to take care of everybody else when you're not really taking care of yourself. And that would be an interesting character arc for Ella if she decides to retire from like the community center and whatnot, because that's what she does. So to actually have her retire, I guess the new niche would be finding what her new place in the family and world would be. I mean, with Curtis, we know he's getting ready for like the barbecue tour and whatnot. And yeah, I mean, he wasn't even in the episode, and it didn't feel like he wasn't there because of the fact that he was mentioned when it was necessary, and we moved on to the next story. So that's another reason that this episode was great. We didn't have too many characters in the episode that were unnecessary to the plot. It felt like this episode worked with the cast it had. I believe, what was it, 3 and 3? Ella, Floyd, Miranda, CJ, Malik, Lisa. And it was nice, clean cut stuff. All right, so from there, we actually skip to the end of the episode. Floyd and Miranda had actually succeeded with getting the 100 signatures. The biopsy had been done, and Miranda and Ella, they've been it's been a few weeks, they've been freaking out, stressed over the situation. But she gets a phone call, the tumor is done, and or the tumor is benign, and she's like, yeah, I'll get my checkup in 6 months. So this was a very solid episode from start to finish, and I was very pleased with both House of Payne and Assisted Living last night. Good stuff. I wish every episode could be this good. Easily the best of the BET episodes, if you will, from season 9 to the present. Let me know how you felt. Seriously, 10 out of 10. So with that being said, what was your favorite part of the episode? How do you feel about the lack of Jasmine and Janine? I just feel like, yeah, it sucks for Malik having to take on so many burdens, but it is what it is. And I like the fact that everybody's pitching in. And I think another thing I forgot to mention is the fact that, when CJ's like, why didn't you tell us? So it wasn't like they were just mooching off of Malik. It was like, hey, son, you just tell us, that you're having some trouble with the school stuff. That way we can take on some responsibility when necessary. That way, you're not draining yourself when your job is to, make sure you do good in school, eventually get a good job and whatnot. So I just like the fact that everybody pitched in, from CJ and Lisa to even Miranda and Floyd. Good stuff. And see what I mean? It's like, dang it, don't make me start liking Miranda, because then it's like, oh, I want her and Calvin to get back together. Don't do it. All right, guys. Well, as always, if you want to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App. And with that being said, I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks so much for tuning in, and check out my assisted living review.